I'm completely burned out. I have no answers. I mean, this could be really, really bad. I've done everything I could do, and the financial aid at Ohio University might not be what I'm expecting. But I did apply to Indiana University Bloomington's online program, where if I have my way over there in Bloomington, this will change everything. And this could be, quite frankly, an upset for Ohio University, because this really boils down to how much money. It just boils down to money, and a hell of a lot of it.
One humongous meal later.
It's been at least a couple of weeks since I got admitted to Ohio University. And so far, I do not have any more information. But I do know I've registered for classes at Ohio University. And if the price is right. But then there is this possibility that Indiana University Bloomington could come out of nowhere and pull off this upset. And then I mean, on one hand, I've got Indiana University. There's the Indiana state aid. On the other hand, there's Ohio University. And I'm relying on scholarships. Same goes for IU Bloomington. Now, there's only a few things that could probably not go in Ohio University's favor. Number one, might be the fact that I might have to take out an additional loan. And number two, Ohio University is in Athens, Ohio. Whereas IU, Bloomington, is in Bloomington, Indiana.
Several days later.
Caprice. It's gonna be alright. I know you're concerned. Hey, kitty, I know you're concerned. I know you're kind of worried, but we're gonna be alright. We've been through this before. We can do it again. It's just gonna be a lot harder than I thought.
later.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Yeah. They need to make a decision soon. Otherwise, where's my wet food gonna come from? I told you we're gonna be okay, Caprice. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be alright, Caprice. Yeah. This has run me ragged. Still no word from IU Bloomington, but no word from Ohio University yet. And I'm starting to lose patience, if it's not already gone. Okay. So I've been doing an investigation into what went wrong in the ASL2 course. And I can now safely say there was definitely a problem that I had no control over. Problem was, I didn't have enough clear evidence at the time. Had I gotten that, I would still be attending Purdue Fort Wayne and not attend Ohio University and or IU Bloomington online. Or wouldn't be searching for another college to attend. So what that means is I'm going to have to change some policies here. And this is something I just do not like doing now. But I do know one thing. I am never going to speak to that professor of the ASL course at Purdue Fort Wayne or the chair again. That's definitely for sure. After what I went through. But what people have to understand is the changes I'm going to be making will make sure something like that never happens again. And I will charge a penalty if that happens again.
My name is Andrea Coolranch, or Andy, and I serve as the Deputy Chief of Security Operations for Aeverine Zinn. As always, the information I'm about to share is preliminary and subject to further clarification as we continue reviewing the facts. Here's what we know so far. On October 14th, One day after Ava reached her breaking point with the mistreatment she experienced in the American Sign Language program at Purdue University Fort Wayne, she issued a formal cease and desist notice to her professor and notified the school university that she would be retaking ASL at another institution. Following that, our team began documenting the administrative and procedural failures that had accumulated over 3 semesters that are isolated to the ASL courses. We identified multiple points where accommodations were denied, communication broke down, and university officials escalated situations instead of resolving them with Ava. We have several individuals whose actions are unjustified and subject to a tort claim and potential lawsuit, including faculty, department leadership, and student conduct personnel. Their roles in the chain of events are being evaluated, and at this time, we cannot determine the full extent of each person's involvement. We have also collected a number of documents, emails, reports, appeal responses, and internal communications that were examined and made the determination that university policy, state law, and/or federal civil rights protections were violated. This investigation is still in its early stages. These are the brief facts we can confirm at this time. At this point, I'll turn it over to George Williamston, Executive Director of Security of Aeverine Zinn Holdings and Ava Zinn.
Let me tell the audience watching this tonight, and I'm going to say it plainly, what happened to Ava Zinn at Purdue Fort Wayne is unacceptable. Unnecessary. And I say that not just as someone looking at this from the outside. I say it as a security guard who works for Ava, as someone who has seen this kind of failure before. Back on September 27, 2001 in Marion, the late Hank Cash and I witnessed a situation almost identical in spirit after Ava was disenrolled from Indiana Wesleyan University, a vulnerable person asking for help, a system refusing to listen, choosing to remove her because she struggled to adapt to college life at that time, and officials escalating instead of supporting. I never forgot that day. And I'm not going to forget October 27, 2025 either. Ava came to Purdue University Fort Wayne to learn, to grow, to receive the accommodations she is entitled to. Tens of students ask for help every semester and get it without issue. But when Ava asked, the response was resistance, misinterpretation, and retaliation in American Sign Language courses she took. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, Ava Zinn is emotionally disabled. She has autism. She has a learning disability. And what she is dealing with should never have happened. If only the officials at PFW had honored Ava's condition and vulnerability. I found out today that she has had sleep apnea caused by PTSD from 30 years ago. 30 damn years. And instead of compassion, she was met with suspicion. Instead of support, she was met with punishment. I've read the emails from Abby Blackman and Lindsay Butcher. I've seen the appeals Ava sent to Chancellor Christina surface. I've watched how her concerns were brushed aside by Professor Woods and Chairperson Shannon Bischoff, how Ava's identity was treated like an inconvenience, how due process was treated like a suggestion instead of a requirement. And I've got to be honest, I'm seriously tired of it. You should be tired of it. This is not how a university should treat its students. This is not how accommodations should work. This is not how civil rights are supposed to be handled. Ava did everything right. She asked for help. She followed procedure. She filed complaints. She provided documentation. And instead of being met with fairness, she was met with escalation and a suspension that never should have happened. We cannot keep pretending this is normal. We cannot keep acting like this is just policy. It is not. It is a failure of leadership, a failure of communication, a failure of responsibility. And I'm calling on the people who made these decisions, the professor, the chair, the conduct office, the administration, to step up. To acknowledge what happened. To correct it. To stop hiding behind process and start acting with integrity. Because a student's education, a student's dignity, a student's future, those things matter. And what happened here was unnecessary. It didn't have to be like this. And it cannot continue like this for anyone else.